Yo, what's good? It's Andrew from GarageBandProfessional.com. Today I'm going to show you guys how to master a song using a pretty simple process. First things first, head on over to my website, GarageBandProfessional.com. I wrote an article called How to Master a Song in GarageBand. It's right here. You don't have to go to the website, but essentially I'm going to be kind of walking you through this article right here. I'm just going to show you how to master a song simply using GarageBand. This article has a pretty in-depth explanation on how I go about doing each thing. Moving on. So the thing that's arguably the most important thing right away is to make sure that your VU meters aren't going into the red at any point in the song. And by VU meters, of course, I'm talking about these on the left-hand side. I don't know if you can hear the song playing right now, but you can see that all of these tracks are staying in the green. Now, other people on the internet will make the argument that it should be going into the yellow during the loudest parts of the song. That's not necessarily. It's not necessary. I mean, you can. Your VU meters can be ride the green the whole time. It's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, let's move on to another part of the song where you can see that none of my tracks are clipping really. Typically, when I'm making beats or music, I find that aggressive instruments are typically the ones that clip the most. For instance, the kick, the bass, the snare. Yeah, loud, punchy type instruments. But yeah, so yeah, what I was saying was that no clipping on the VU meters at all. And what's the next thing? Oh yeah, you also want to ensure that on your master channel there's no plugins running. So on this, for instance, I'm on the track. The track. It's okay if there's plugins running on the track, on the individual track. It's okay. However, the master channel there should be no plugins, and in order to check this, you just go down into your smart controls down here, and you click on track, and that's individual tracks, and then master is the master channel for the entire song or entire file, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, you just want to make sure that you have no plugins running on here, okay? And for the next part, I would say that I would watch I would watch your automation. I don't know if you use automation. I use it sometimes, but you have to be careful when you're using it. And the reason why that's the case is that you have to watch that. Uh, if you're using a compressor later on in the mastering process, which you will be, you don't want to have your track suddenly start clipping during a part where you have it automated to increase in volume. So you have to keep in mind that you've increased the volume, so you have to compensate for that when you use a compressor later. And what else? What else do I normally look out for? Typically, I also watch hi hats and other high frequency instruments, and the reason why is that I find that in the mastering process, once you've added a little bit of EQ and a little bit of compression, sometimes the hi-hats and other high frequency instruments will be a bit louder than you expected. So it's good to maybe just keep in mind that you should turn down the hi-hats a little bit, assuming that you're making hip-hop songs at least. Um, but anyway, this track is pretty much ready to go. It's none of the tracks are clipping. There's the automation is good. I'll keep that in mind. No plugins running on the master channel. And also, it's important to keep this at 0 dB. Your master volume slider in the top right-hand side right here, that should be at 0 dB. I'm not sure why this makes a difference, but when you export the song onto your desktop and bring it back into the DAW at a later phase, you want this at 0 dB because otherwise it'll be clipping. I don't know why. Other people on the internet have said that this doesn't matter, but I find that it does. So I keep it at 0 dB whenever I export it. And so yeah, essentially that's it for this song. I'm gonna hit share, export song to disk. I'm gonna go to AIF, click desktop. So just a few things to unpack here. I use an AIFF file because it's a lossless format. It's essentially a superior file format to MP3. Waves are good too. However, I use waves primarily when I'm sending tracks across the internet to other clients and producers. Um, I use AIFF file because I believe it's more of a lossless file even than a wave. It's better than that. So you want to make sure you have that selected. And also, I usually export my songs to the desktop. That way I can simply drag and drop the file back into the DAW later. Because I find that when I export the track to a folder somewhere on my computer, I can never find it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click export. Usually it takes a few moments. Yeah, I'm kind of, this is my second time doing this video. I already made a 25-minute video and my computer kind of crashed. So now I'm doing it again. Anyway, it just takes a few moments. Just put some e-juice in my vape. All right, so we're almost done bouncing. Just gonna close some of these other windows, kind of distracting me. All right, so I'm gonna look at my desktop. There it is. My AIF file is right there. So what I want to do now is I want to drop it back into the DAW. Now we're not doing the formal mastering process yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the solo button, and I'm gonna make sure that everything is copacetic on the track. I'm gonna go to different parts of the song, and I'm gonna look at the VU meter right here, make sure it's not clipping. I believe the loudest part of the song is right here. I don't know if you hear the song. It's kind of like jazz, rock, trap kind of thing. It's a bit pretentious. You might think it's a bit pretentious. But anyway. So yeah, I mean, everything is looking good. I know that this AIF file is all right. So I'm going to go and delete this, take it off solo. We'll just save it for an extra measure. And now I'm going to go to...
By the way, I got a present for you. Go to producersociety.com/free mixing cheat sheet. That'll put you on my list to get a free mixing cheat sheet. And I send all kinds of cool tips and stuff that I don't share anywhere else. You can also join my forum at forum.producersociety.com. For now, it's totally free to sign up, but in the future, I'll probably lock it down and then turn it into a full course platform.
Because I actually already mastered the song, I'm gonna just go back to my old file. So I'm going to bring this in here again. So you can see down here that I've used a compressor, a channel EQ, and a limiter. Now typically not even typically, all the time, the order of the plugins matters quite a bit. It matters. I'll use a compressor first. That's the most intense dynamic change, and then the channel EQ, and then a limiter on top. You can also use a multipressor. There's many things you can use. When you're first starting out, I would recommend using the presets. For instance, the Platinum Analog Tape is a great preset. I find it just makes the song sound a lot better, and I used it for a long time. Sometimes I shy away from it, and I just kind of make my own settings, but for the sake of this tutorial, I would say to try this preset out. It's pretty good. Another good one is... what's another good one? Aggressive is alright. Type U aggressive. And then the next thing that I do is I go to the channel EQ. Now, when it comes to EQ, audio engineers will typically recommend that you do what's called subtractive EQ. And what that means is that you drop frequencies, undesired frequencies, as a way of elevating other desired frequencies. So for instance, if you want to see a rise in higher frequencies, say for example between 1000K and 10,000 kHz, maybe you would just drop the lower frequencies a bit rather than increasing the frequencies of the desired range. So another thing that people do is they usually drop 20K around here, and also 20 hertz. Um, I mean, we don't really hear those frequencies anyway, so it's best just to drop them. And what I like to do as a mixer is I increase the frequencies right here. Not by much. It's important not to do it by much because you end up just messing up the mix. By here, for instance, I only did it by 1.5 dB. And then also another thing that people do is they drop the frequency at 200 hertz, 210, 200 around that area. The reason for that is that there's usually quite a bit of low mid ranges in mixes. So this is kind of a problem, a usual problem range in which you can drop the frequency, and it'll just help the mix shine, and it cleans it up essentially. And another thing I do is that I'm just going to go ahead and hit play right now. What I do is I increase this frequency right here. It's 132 hertz, just to give it that's where the kick drum in the bass is for the most part. So I just give it a little boost there. That way it punches a little more. And so that's all we really need for EQ, honestly. EQ is not, you shouldn't be spending too much time with mastering and all these other plugins, because you're going to end up just messing things up anyway. It only takes about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And this is the limiter. The limiter, it just provides a ceiling to how loud the song can be. In other words, you're going to stop it from clipping. So 0 dB is typically the point of distortion. So I have it set at negative 0.2 dB, and also the gain at +2. That just gives it a little more push. And what else? Oh yeah, I'm going to increase the volume up to +2 dB on the master channel right here. I find that that's good. That's about a competitive volume. I'll hit save. And now at this stage, I'm pretty much done. I mean, you don't really need to do a lot when it comes to this stuff. I feel like maybe I should probably add that if you're going to master, you should go into your preferences, and then go, I forget which one it is now. It's been a long time since I've done it. Some people, they have this on, the auto normalize. You want to make sure that's unclicked, because when you go to export projects, for instance, when you send it to SoundCloud, you're going to get a much quieter song than everybody else's, and that's no good. It needs to be at a competitive volume, otherwise it's not gonna work. People are gonna listen to your song and it's gonna be quiet, and they're gonna immediately move to the next one. So you obviously don't want that. But anyway, that's pretty much it, honestly. What I do at this stage is I go to Song to iTunes, and I make sure to name the track. I'm just gonna name it that for now. The reason why I put it to iTunes first is because I like to compare it to other songs in my library, and I also like to I want to make sure that it's not clipping or distorted during any part of the song. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So everything sounds good on iTunes. This video is a bit rushed. Sorry, I didn't have the patience to do everything the same way I did it before, because this is my second time doing the video. But anyway, also if you wanna send it to SoundCloud, it's as simple as just going to share and then song to SoundCloud as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you next time. Make sure you check out the article. I give a more in-depth walkthrough through how to master a song in GarageBand article on my website at garagebandprofessional.com. And yeah, that's it. I guess I'll see you next time.